Good morning, guys. West Coast Taco here. Welcome to the channel. Just another beautiful day down here in San Diego, California. I think the high today is 68 and low was 40 last night. That's pretty typical winter weather for us down here in San Diego on the West Coast. So no complaints, right? But anyhow, wanted to get you guys caught up to speed here on the final product here of this TRD Lift Kit with the new tires, and kind of just go over you know, the final points on how everything went with the install. And guys, I couldn't be happier with the results of this lift kit and the tires I chose. You know, a lot of times when you do these types of mods, you do the most research you can, and then you just kind of, you know, hope for the best and go from there. And yeah, was really happy with the way this turned out. So, you know, kind of quick backstory on all of this. If you guys go back and watch some of my other videos, I kind of go into more depth why I chose this kit. And really, you know, it's from Toyota, it's TRD tuned, they're Bilstein shocks. You know, I try to, you know, I don't do a lot of off-roading. I'm mainly an on-road driver. And so for me, this was more about the aesthetics. I feel like the double cab lawn beds, they look great, but when they're just stock height, you know, I just feel like they look a little short and long. And I really wanted to give this truck more of an aggressive look, more height, but didn't want to overkill and go too high and get too much of a tire on there just for rubbing issues and overall MPGs. Like I said, most of my driving's on the road. So that's why I stuck with the 265/75 R16s and got rid of my Wrangler 265/70 R16s. So I'll do a quick walk around and kind of go over some of the things that I went through with this truck and how the whole process went. So from the beginning, I think I'd mentioned in my second or third video when I was going over the cost for this kit. It cost me $1,400 with shipping and tax to buy this kit on eBay from a Toyota dealership in Florida. I think this is pretty much advertised as a dealer installed option only. So there's the first myth that's been busted. You can buy this kit and have it installed by a different shop like I did, or if you have the knowledge and the tools to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. So first myth busted. You can buy this kit. It doesn't have to be done through the dealership in regards to that, purchasing it through them and then having them install it. However, I think if you want to have the warranty included, you probably have to have them install it, is my guess. So there's a little tidbit there on why you may or may not want to have the dealership install the lift kit. I try to typically stay away from dealerships, honestly, and that's just more of a personal preference. I've been screwed over a few times by different dealerships, and you know, it's left a bad taste in my mouth. So I've had independent mechanics that just have their own shops, and I've always had really good experiences and outcomes with them. So that's kind of why I do what I do. So back to the lift kit. So $1,450 from eBay out the door. And then for the tires, I feel like typically from what I was seeing for a set of BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrains, they were running around $1,200, not including an alignment at the tire shops, at least locally down here, for a set of 4. I found these on eBay from a gentleman up in Chino, California, who was selling them for around $800. I negotiated it down to $700 for 4 tires. So got those from him. They had about 3,000 miles on them, according to him. And I'll do a close-up. I mean, the tread looks brand new. They don't look like they have hardly any wear on them. So picked those up for $700. And then I went to a dealership, not a dealership, a off-road shop in Temecula, California, called Next Gen Off-Road. I think it's technically actually in Murrieta, California, which is like the neighboring city of Temecula. Anyhow, they installed the lift kit. They put on the new tires, and they also did an alignment for $550. So kit installation, tires, alignment, $550. A local Toyota dealership down here quoted me $1,800 just for labor, and then $1,700 for the kit. So super happy with the way this turned out. And yeah, through and through, saved probably $2,500 by doing this myself. And when I say doing it myself, I don't mean like I obviously installed them, but going a different route and not doing it the way Toyota kind of says you have to. So here are the tires, guys. Like I said, I mean, I've driven them a little bit, but I mean, they look great. And there they are. There's that leaf, you can see that leaf spacer. I should say spacer block in between the leaf and the mount point. And there are the shocks. One thing to mention is when I did have these installed, this red dust cover was all crinkled up and like all funky looking. I cut that black zip tie and pulled the boot cover down, or the dust cover down, and let the dust cover just kind of like breathe and readjust essentially for about a week. And then I slid them back up and re-zip tied them, and they look great now. So that was the only hiccup I had on my end in regards to the shocks themselves. So nothing big or important to report there. Go to the front. See if I can get up in there. There we go. Also, just yesterday, actually, I finished this up. I took off my TRD skid plate. They come in that factory gray or silver. Took that off, popped the lettering off, and painted it with bed liner, black bed liner. I think I used 2 cans of Rust-Oleum, and in the final can I used Herculiner, which is made by JB Weld. And I think it looks awesome. I think Toyota should just make these skid plates, you know, black straight from the factory. I think it looks way better in black. Also makes that red TRD pop a little bit more. For my truck, I don't want anything but black on it outside of the red TRD badging. I feel like it's a nice little flare, makes it really stand out. All right, and then onto the grill. So, the grill I installed myself. It was honestly, guys, really easy. I think on my second or third video, I made mention that if you go onto Google, type in TRD Lift Kit, installation instructions, you'll find it. It's like one of the first results that pop up on the page. So I printed that off and I just followed the step-by-step process. Guys, so easy. What I did do is I left my old TSS sensor in. The kit comes with a brand new one, but I figured since my older one's been working fine and I haven't had any issues, you know, I'll just keep my brand new one and save it for a rainy day in the event that, you know, God forbid something happens and I have to get a new one. It's, you know, that one's already bought, paid for. I don't have to worry about dishing out extra cash for a brand new one that's ready to go. So the overall grill itself, like I said, really easy to install. And to kind of backtrack a little bit, I had the lift kit and the tires installed prior to putting on the new grill. And from the moment I got in the truck, I started it up and I did not get any issues, like, and no warning lights, no error, no unable to calibrate, you know, whatever message people are getting in regards to their TSS sensor not cooperating when they lift their truck. I got nothing. And that was with the OEM Toyota grill with the Toyota emblem in the center that you guys saw in my first video. And drove home, and it was about a 28 mile drive, no issues. That weekend, I installed the grill myself. Before I started working on it or doing anything, I unplugged my battery. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I unplugged the battery and just started going to work, and then I plugged it back in when I was all done, and from beginning to end, 0 issues. And it calibrated from what I could see perfectly. I don't know if it's because the height is essentially the same in regards to where the sensor was before. I'd be interested to measure the OEM sensor versus where it's relocated on the Heritage grill to see if that height is really any different, because it's lower since it's not in the center anymore. But for me, no issues whatsoever. The one thing I did have an issue with, if you want to call it that, is that I'd say about a week after I installed my grill, I got the low pressure light that popped on the dash stating my tires were low. So they were on 29 psi. I took them down to the gas station, filled them up to 35. I think the off-road dealership, when they put them on, they put them all at 29, because it wasn't like one was leaking or something like that. So they're all 29, so I put them all at 35. I hit the reset button on the left portion next to the hood latch and waited for the light to flicker or go off 3 times with the beeps. And after it reset, I drove the truck for about 10 or 15 miles. And then on the dash, my TPMS began to work again, and it actually showed the PSI numbers for each tire on my dash screen. When I first went to go look at what they were, it just showed dashes. And so it may have been like that from the day I picked up the new tires. It could have been from me unplugging the battery and doing the grill install. Not really sure, what caused the TPMS to have to reset. But I did what I kind of read about and saw people were doing on YouTube and on forums about just hitting the reset button, letting the system reset, and then driving it, and then it just took care of itself. So quick fix on that. But that was honestly, guys, the only issue I had while installing this lift kit and these new tires. And once again, I did not personally do it outside of the grill installation, but when I mean I did it, I mean I didn't have it done through the dealer. Also, I took off my TRD off-road 4x4 stickers that were right here in the back. They were like silver and white. Didn't think they looked really nice on the truck, so I had those taken off, and then I installed this vinyl decal I got on Etsy. I think I paid around 50 bucks. Wanted to kind of continue to black out the truck where it wasn't a TRD red, OEM type of a deal. And super happy with these. I feel like they make the truck look way more aggressive. Also, since this bed is longer, I feel like this lengthy decal kind of, it doesn't really shorten the bed, but just kind of makes it look not so long in a good way. It provides a good balance to the bed. So really glad I went with that. I think that was around 50 bucks for the set on Etsy. And yeah, it was a good call in my opinion. And I think I've shown these on some of my other videos. These are by Gatmag. These are the American flag magnets. I love them. They're so easy if you need to take them off and clean them or something like that, and then put them back on. It's just nice to be able to have that flexibility. These were more expensive. These were around 30 bucks, but they had really good reviews. I think they're maybe they're not the original ones to design and develop these, but they got to be up there. So I just went ahead, spent an extra 15 or 20 bucks compared to some of the competitors, and I've been really happy with them. So I'm glad I didn't cheap out and get a different brand or different type. So back to this grill, to kind of give you an idea of, where it all started. I wanted to put the Pro Grill on when I first got the truck. Hadn't done a lot of research onto what kind of grills were available. But, after researching and Googling, I came across Taco Vinyl. The one thing I liked about Taco Vinyl is that they had a camera bracket you could buy. They would cut out the camera piece for you. And then you could also order a black Toyota emblem, the Toyota lettering, to go in the middle instead of the signature gray. I think to do like the Toyota lettering black, the camera bracket, the TSS sensor, that whole thing, it was like 370 or 380 bucks for the grill to do it how I wanted to do it. When I found this TRD Lift Kit and I saw that it was already blacked out and it came with the camera bracket and the TSS sensor, and it was an actual Toyota OEM part, I was like, well, that's a done deal. I'm just gonna go with that and get the shocks as well, since I want to do a 2-to-1 lift on the truck. So I went with this, and I'm really glad I did what I did. You know, as you might see, like on the TRD Pros, the Toyota lettering is gray, whereas on this Heritage grill for the TRD Lift Kit, it's black. I'm assuming they did that on purpose to kind of show the differentiation between a TRD Lift Kit that's more for a TRD off-road or another Toyota Tacoma that is not the Pro, and then keep the Fox shocks and the gray lettering in the Toyota portion of the grill, you know, more for the TRD Pro only. I'm not sure, I'm just taking a guess and stab at that. That's probably why they do what they do. I would be interested to, you know, meet up with someone who maybe has a TRD Pro. It doesn't have to be, you know, metallic black, but someone that does have a TRD Pro, and kind of do a comparison between my TRD off-road and their Pro, especially now that I have the TRD Lift Kit. I mean, you know, these Bilstein shocks, they're probably great shocks. I've heard and read great things about them. However, I mean, they're not Fox shocks, so, you know, I'm not saying that they're the equivalent, but I'm really happy with them, guys. They drive so good on the road. I'm so happy that I chose this kit for my truck. If I had to go back and do it all over again, would I? Yes, absolutely. You know, you could probably fit a larger tire on here if you wanted to. You know, for me, like I had mentioned, I didn't want to get anything too big where there was going to be rubbing. You can see this wheel turning like that, it clears. I mean, you could probably get something bigger, but once the, you know, the tire starts moving around and on an off-road environment, you know, would it maybe hit? Yeah, it could, especially if you went any bigger. Right now, I feel like with the clearance on the upper control arms and everything else, I feel like, you know, this tire is essentially just a little bit taller. That's it. So no real offset, but the BF Goodrich tires, they look so good. You know, they're very aggressive. They got that nice tread on them. I think that these should maybe be more of a tire that, you know, Toyota goes with for their Tacomas. I mean, I'm assuming there's probably a lot of price variance in regards to going with a BF Goodrich compared to the Wranglers on the deal they get for Wranglers. But man, every time I've seen a pair of or a set of BF Goodrich tires on a Tacoma, I mean, it just always looks so good. Whether it's a stock Tacoma or it's lifted, they just look good. You know, the tread pattern, everything about them, they just look really nice. Just a solid tire for these trucks, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, if you guys have a double cab lawn bed Tacoma and you were curious and confused by the conflicting information about doing this TRD Lift Kit on it and it not working, hopefully this, you know, puts your mind at ease, gives you that confidence to know that if you do it, unless there's some unforeseen circumstance that I'm not aware of or haven't experienced yet, you know, you're going to be good to go. So I'm sure there's guys that have done this before me. Like I said, I saw a few kind of conflicting information pieces on Tacoma. I think it was Tacoma World or Tacoma Forum, but I mean, there wasn't a lot of information on it, and definitely I didn't really see any videos of a lawn bed, especially the double cab lawn bed Tacomas with a kit done on it, and I didn't see a review. So there you go, guys. She's all done, and I'm really happy. This is not the end by any means for this truck. I've still got things I'm working on, things I'm doing. I installed the TRD cold air intake about 2 weekends ago, so I'm going to do a video on that as well, so stay tuned for that. And my video for this skid plate I took off and painted black with the bed liner, and then, you know, put the lettering back on. I'll do a video on that, I guess, to kind of just show a little bit of what I did. But I mean, Rob Motive, a little shout out to Rob Motive. He's got a great video on that skid plate and what he did, and I just followed his process. I think the only thing I did differently is I actually liked the Hercule liner more than I did the Rust-Oleum bed liner. It had more of a shinier look to it. It just seemed like a better product. Maybe it was just me, but I did about 4 or 5 coats on my skid plate. And so before I did that, I took the skid plate off, I sanded it. I had some bubbling action going on several portions where there was water getting in, so I sanded it down, and then I cleaned it with brake cleaner, and dried it, washed it, made sure there was no more paint flaking or chipping from the skid plate. And then I took off the letters. Since it's colder right now here in California, listen to me, colder. I mean, it was like 65 degrees outside. The adhesive popped off really easily. Like, it stayed with the actual letters. So I popped that off, each letter off. And then I made sure that portion was all nice and clean where the letters were. And took the skid plate, laid it on a piece of plastic, and I started doing coats. And really, really easy, guys, really simple, nothing fancy. And I think about 4 or 5 coats. I let it dry for about a day, took it upstairs, and got my wife's hair dryer, heated up the 3M lettering, the double-sided tape on the lettering, and I put a little bit of the Gorilla Glue gel on the double-sided tape, and then stuck them back on, and boom, there they are. So that was really easy. That was super simple. And like I said, Rob Motive, type in TRD skid plate Rob Motive. He's got a step-by-step process on doing it from when he ordered his skid plate and then did it before he even installed it. I had to take mine off and then do it, so the process was a slightly bit different, but the actual part of, you know, painting it and putting the bed liner on and the lettering, it's all essentially the same. Nothing crazy. But yeah, guys, feel free. Any questions that I, did not cover, any concerns or thoughts you may have about this lift kit, about the grill install, about my tires, the tire pressure monitoring system hiccup I worked through that was really simple, nothing crazy. Hit me up, ask me questions. That's what I'm here for. That's the whole point of this channel, guys, is I want you guys to be able to reach out to me with stuff that's, puzzling you or you're not sure about. I am by no means a mechanic. I am not this super savvy guy when it comes to, working on vehicles. I'm more of your typical average Joe that just enjoys these trucks and learned a lot through this process. So, yeah, anything you guys have or you guys want to hit me up on, feel free to do it, and be happy to help. But outside of that, guys, stay tuned for more content coming, and more mods, more accessories I plan to do with this truck. And excited to continue this journey with you guys. Appreciate all your support. And like I said, any questions, reach out. I'll be here. All right, guys, we'll have a great rest of your weekend. Christmas is almost here, so if I don't talk to you guys before then, have a wonderful and very Merry Christmas with your family. Hope everybody's healthy, and yeah, talk to you soon. See ya.